The Chestnut Man. It's a Netflix new original Danish series, 6 episodes long, 45 minutes apiece. I was excited about this, but did I enjoy it? Is it worth your time? Let me know in the comments below. Were you excited about this? Had you heard this? Was this on your radar? Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. The Chestnut Man is set in a quiet suburb of Copenhagen where the police make a terrible discovery one blustery October morning. A young woman is found brutally murdered in a playground and one of her hands is missing. Next to her lies a small man made of chestnuts. So this is based on a book. I know they've changed some things, so it's loosely based, I guess. It normally is. They take inspiration from and then put it into a series, and then you've got to work with what you have here. It's very much a detective story where you are a fly in the wall or an imaginary detective trying to piece together the puzzle of the Chestnut Man. And it's also very much a character study on loss. So we have these families that have lost their kids or lost their loved ones, and you see how they have to cope with that. It doesn't shy away with how people cope with that. So you have people that are willing to just put it aside and try and move forward with life. You have others that aren't able to do that. And so while we have this investigation, we are also experiencing the loss of family, the loss of children, is something I never want to go through. But I think everybody at some point will have a loss in their life and be able to relate with what these families are going through. I feel like the moments in the storyline where the characters are given some real meat to kind of express that, it comes across really well, and I appreciated that. We follow two main detectives. One has a dark past that we don't really get to know about, and that is a weak link for me in the story. You get to know about Hess a little bit. He's been kicked out of The Hague, and now he has been attached to this case. And for the most part, we get to find out little bits along the 6 episodes with him, but I really felt like they needed to maybe give more flesh to his background story, because he ended up being one of my favorite characters because he's a bit mysterious, and I think that we're trying to lean into that a little bit. I would have liked to have been a little bit more emotionally engaged with our two main protagonists, so that when stuff happens to them, like you would in a very kind of Seven vibey series, that you were engaged with your characters, that you were hoping to feel what happens for them, rather than just allow the story to progress and play and you're going, okay, basically I don't really care what happens to them, but I am here for the story. This is a slow burn as well, and slow burns really have to have a payoff when it comes to the end. I'm happy to say, for me, I thought the payoff was good because I didn't guess. Like, there are moments that I knew how the story was going to end, but I didn't guess the whodunit and why the whodunit. There are quite a few reveals along the way, so it's not just like, bam, at the end, here is what happened. It's like, during the episodes, they'll give you a little bit of information. You'll be like, oh, really? Wow, I didn't see that coming. And then they'll keep doing that through the episodes, which I thought was a nice kind of change in pace. Some series just kind of all drop it to you in the end and expect you to have kept your engagement along the whole way. Thankfully, it's only 6 episodes. So even though it's a slow burn, they're only 45 minutes apiece. You can get through them quite quickly. When it is gory, I would say that it is gory, and they tend to not shy away, although you think you've seen what you've seen, but the camera is cleverly moved away. So there are some things that you think you've seen, but you haven't. And then they don't shy away from some of like the body mutilation bits where they're showing bodies, because it's obviously a Chestnut Man serial killer thing. I'm trying not to do spoilers. I will do spoilers at the end, but not here. It very much does feel like a mishmash of a detective series where you get like the nuances, you get the cop or the detective moments in the office. They're trying to piece together the investigation. They're getting frustrated because the bad guy seems to be one step ahead of them the whole time. So you're frustrated for them, and I feel like it draws you into the investigation quite well. The cinematography at times, especially with lighting, is great. Like, it really adds to the atmosphere and the tone that they were going for. The score helps that as well. But I do feel like it was a slow burn, and it didn't quite meet my expectations of what I was expecting. I don't know, I felt like it was going to be much darker, much more gritty, and in the end it was a slow burn, gritty in places, and then the ending was kind of a reveal for that plot and story. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. and I was expecting to love it. Maybe because I went in with my expectations over here and it's actually down here. So I'm going to give this 3.5 Nicolas Cages out of 5. It's still a good watch. You should put it on your list. The acting is good. The dialogue is good. And you like some of the character decisions, although I don't always agree with them, but you just like where the story leads you because it's enough to keep you guessing. Let me know in the comments below, were you excited to see this? Once you have seen it, chat to me in the comments below. Let's get into spoilers. This is your warning. This is spoiler territory. Simon Gans is obviously the main character. He's the chestnut man, but he was there the whole time, and I didn't see it. I was amazed. It's like he knew so much. It's like the blood splatter expert in Dexter. He was there the whole time. It's the reason why he's ahead of the whole police force, why the chestnut man keeps getting away with everything. But then the added reference to Rosa, who is, I guess they were brother and sister for like 2 months, or they were living in the same household and would have been brother and sister. The story basically is about this chestnut man, this guy Gens, having mother issues because of neglect, and now we see why the mothers have been taken out, because he's trying to make sure that the kids live up in a great environment. So in his mindset, he is doing what is right, what is good. And so we see that unfold, which is an interesting play because there's a lot of mother neglect. The story reflects that often. Even with our detective, who's our main protagonist, she is neglecting her child, and she ends up in a place where she's going to be killed because she hasn't done a good job. And it's a very interesting kind of mechanic, again, about mothers and fathers and the roles and duties. And he, obviously, the chestnut man, has a different perspective on that because he's grown in a neglected household where his mother neglected him, and so the repercussions of that is now he's become this killer who has a moral duty to take out bad mothers. At the same time, we have a detective who's joined the case from The Hague, who has lost his wife and his daughter from a house burning down. So we have this broken cop. Again, just brokenness. It was very interesting to see how he reacted to the kind of the kids being missing. I really thought that Rosa's daughter would be dead, but as it turns out, she was alive. And it does kind of make sense because it was never about the kids being harmed. It was more about the mothers being taken out of the picture so they would have a better life. Then we get to that end scene where we have the killer. Well, not the killer, where we have the guy that was falsely accused, part of the chestnut man's plan so that he could keep doing what he was doing, released. And we see him immediately look at another woman. But we know what he was looking at. He got off on those killing scenes. He loved the chestnut man. He reveled the fact that he was part of that plan. And I feel like if we're going to get a season 2, it's going to be about him and what he ends up doing. Because it's a weird thing to even have that storyline. We didn't need to know about him, that the fact that he got released and then goes out into the world. So if they do another series, it could be that they have a copycat killer continuing the tradition, but I feel like it's going to be twisted because that guy seemed like he got off on killing. So I do wonder what his killings would look like, what his chestnut man family would end up looking like. Let me know in the comments below. What did you catch? Did you guess what was going to happen? Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long Tuesday.